So hello and welcome to this video. In this video, we are going to learn about two-dimensional array in Java. A two-dimensional array, or we can simply say it as a 2D array, can be seen as an array of an one-dimensional array which is represented in tabular form, that means presented in columns or tables. Okay? So let us see the syntax of declaring a 2D array in Java. Now, in order to declare a 2D array, first of all, we have to specify the data type. Now, the data type is the type of data to be stored inside the array, alright, which is followed by these two pair of square braces. Now, these two pair of square braces determines the size, like the type of the array, alright, these two pair of square braces determines the type of the array, whether it is a 1D array or a 2D array, alright. Now, if there will be a two pair of square braces, that means the array is a kind of 2D array, or you can simply say it as a two-dimensional array, alright. And this is followed by the array name, alright, which is equal to new, the specified data type at first, alright, which can be integer, double, or float, or even a character, alright. So new data type, and which is again followed by the two pair of square braces, and inside the two pair of square braces we have our size of the dimension, alright. So we'll be like we'll specify the size of the dimensions, which is represented as x and y over here at first. So I have a code snippet over here that is a 2D array, alright. So in this statement, or you can say in this snippet, I have declared a simple 2D array which is consisting of two rows and each row consisting of three elements, alright. So let me explain you about this snippet. Now in here at first I have specified the data type, that is int. That means this array can have only integer, okay. So all the elements in the array are integers, and this declaration is followed by the two pair of square braces, which says that this array is a kind of a 2D array, okay, and the array name is ARR, alright, equal to new, and the specified data type was int. So new int 2 by 3, that means two rows and each row will be consisting of three elements, okay. So here, in order to initialize the array, let us see the syntax of initializing the 2D array in Java. Now, in order to initialize an array, we have to first of all specify the name of the array, that is ARR over here, and we need to specify the row index, that is 0, like the first element we will have a row index of 0, and further the first element of the array will be having a column index of 0. And further, this whole snippet will be assigned a value. That means array name, that is ARR, of row index by column index will be equal to a value. So I have an example over here, that is ARR of 0 by 0 is 1. So ARR of 0 by 0 is equals 1. That means the first element of my 2D array is 1. So let me just copy this snippet a few more times. Alright, so now I will say that the second element of my first row will be 2, that is ARR of 0 and 1, okay. Then ARR of 0 and 2 will be 3, that is the third element of my first row. Coming to the second element, coming to the second row, so the first element of my second row will be 4, followed by the second element of my second row will be 5, okay, and the third element, which is the last one, of my second row will be 6, okay. So here we can see that the first element is 1, and the second element is 2, and the third element is 3, alright. That means in my first row there are three elements, that is 1, 2 and 3, and my first row is determined by this 0. So coming to my second row, which is determined by 1, that indicates that the row is the second row, alright, in the array, and the first element of my second row, that is ARR of 1 by 0, is 4, and further the second element of my second row is 5, and at last the third element of my second row is 6, which is represented as ARR of 1 by 2. Okay, now if I would say system.out.println, and I would say ARR of 0 and 2. Okay, now if I would simply run this program into my console, you can see the output will be 3, because initially I have initialized the array ARR 0 of 2 is 3. That means the third element of my first row is 3. So you can see the output is 3. All right. So similarly, if I would say system.out.println ARR of 1 by 2, that means the last element of my second row, which is 6. So you can see over here that will be 6. All right. So in order to print every element of the array, or we can say that in order to print the whole array to our console, we can use 2 for loops. So let me show you how to do that. So first of all, I'll be commenting this snippet, and I'll be saying for int I is equals 0, I less than ARR dot length. So ARR is the name of the 2D array. All right. So ARR dot length I plus plus, and inside my for loop, so as this is a 2D array, so I'll be having 2 for loops to print the whole array to my console. All right. So I'll be like declaring another for loop. So for int j is equals 0, j less than array of I dot length. So array of I dot length, that means length of this array. All right. So this is also array. So for int j is equals 0, j less than array of I dot length, that means j will be less than the array of I dot length, that means this array. All right. And further I'll be saying j plus plus, and inside here I'll be saying system.out.println ARR of I and j. Now I'll be concatenating with the empty string. Okay. And outside my second for loop, I'll be saying system.out.println simply. So in order to print another a new line. Okay. Now if I would run this program, you can see the output as 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6. All right. So instead of like, you can see there is like 1, 2, 3, and again there is a new line, there is 4, 5, 6. Now in order to print 1, 2, 3 in one line, now instead of using this println statement over here, I'll be simply saying print. All right. So system.out.print ARR of I and j. So you can see over here, if I would run this program again, you can see there is 1, 2, 3, and in the next line that is 4, 5 and 6. Okay. Now this is how we can print the whole 2D array to your console. All right. So you can see first of all we declare the array, which is ARR. All right, which is having 2 rows, and each row is having 3 elements. All right. And this 6 snippets by the help of which we have initialized the 2D array. Okay. And in order to print every element of this array, first of all we have declared a for loop. All right. So for int I is equals 0, I is a random variable. So for int I is equals 0, I less than ARR dot length, that means the length of the array. All right. And I plus plus. And inside the for loop again, as it is a 2D array, so we'll be declaring 2 for loops. So for int j is equals 0, j less than ARR of I dot length, that means the length of this array. All right. So ARR of I dot length and j plus plus, and inside this second for loop I said system.out.print ARR of I and j to print every element to my console. And after I run this program, you can see every element is printed to my console as 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6 as initialized before. Okay. So this is how you can work along with 2D arrays, or you can say 2-dimensional arrays in Java. So thank you for watching. See you in the next video.